Hello and welcome to this final video at the Paris Air Show, which will be dedicated to the weirdest and strangest things I've seen here. It's a sort of best of things you won't see anywhere else. It's too big, it flies weirdly, the propellers are crooked, or there aren't any propellers at all, or even there's strange half helicopters. We're arriving at JFAS with FlyingRobot. What is it? It's a small, very light machine. It's a kind of ultralight aircraft with a wing above it, which allows it to carry, hold on, half of the maximum takeoff weight. It weighs 600 kilos, fully drone-operated with a container inside. This way, we manage logistics safely and discreetly since it's lightweight and energy efficient. And we have the option to either drop the load with a parachute or simply land, then take off again in the other direction. And it's really 300 kilometers out and 300 kilometers back, not 300 kilometers in total. And the other option, if you just want to do surveillance, it's 30 hours of surveillance with a camera, sensor ball, or any sensor we want to integrate. So it's not expensive compared to the services provided. Now we're at Thales, and behind me is the E-Trap. What is the E-Trap? You know that you have the ability to jam drones, hoping to disrupt their communication and their ability to receive GPS satellite signals. You can also send an electromagnetic pulse that will directly fry their circuit, the drone. It will fall since nothing inside works anymore. Or you can switch to more expensive EMP-hardened drones, but then the bad guys will make far fewer of them. That's a simple solution. It's the first time we see it outside. At full scale, we're now arriving in front of a special project called the Nuva 300. It's already impressive. You have 8 electric motors, 4 on each side. There's one hidden up there, which allows it to take off vertically. Obviously, electric power makes it very quiet, which is interesting. And at the very back, you have a propeller for propulsion that's combustion-powered. That allows it to cruise at about 100 knots, 200 km/h. You can carry a cargo payload of 300 kilograms for 300 nautical miles, which is about 550 kilometers of distance. You see, it's 100% cargo, 100% autonomous. It's made by our friends at Pipistrel. You know, the Slovenians made that small electric plane. Now the world's first 100% electric trainer. That's it, they're moving on to bigger things, to cargo, and it's overseen by Textron. Textron bought the company along with all the others. Guys, do you know the V-22 Osprey? It takes off vertically. The propulsion system rotates. We're here with Anderson too, because behind us is the future of the U.S. Army assault. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. It's called the MV-75.
MV-75. Here we have propellers, we take off vertically, we transition. That means we have both the advantage of a helicopter and exactly the speed of a plane. Yes, do we also gain in range and speed?
Yes, it doubles the speed of, for example, the Black Hawk. Yes, so the Black Hawk is around 120, 130. No, but with the MV-75 it doubled, okay? And also the mission length also doubled.
Operational range also doubled.
There you go, there you go.
We're dealing with engineer bullshit here, or maybe we're really looking at a prototype, something that's going to have the...
We've already done the tests with what we call the technical demonstrator. We showed the US Army the capability of what we call the tiltrotor.
Okay, and when will it arrive in the Army?
We're going to start testing with the Army in about a year, more or less.
And do we have any idea about the size of the fleet?
We don't know yet. It depends on the Army, but it's going to be in the hundreds.
A few hundred. It's the American Army, guys. A few hundred.
See, a few hundred then. The Army has more or less 2,000 Black Hawks.
2,000 Black Hawks.
But that doesn't mean we're going to replace all the Black Hawks. It depends on the Army.
If they go farther, faster, and we can do more rotations, logically. But then, is it already intended for a particular unit?
101st Airborne Division, there you go. The Screaming Eagles, who are well known here in France, in Normandy. Now it's the only division in the Army that carries out air assault missions.
So guys, this is for air assault. This is the toughest there is. We go far, we don't need resupply. Typically, very long-distance operations without resupply, this is the best there is today. So it's going to arrive in the Army within a year or two.
It's going to completely change the way the Army does air assaults. especially in regions with great distances, for example, the Pacific.
We can cross the Pacific.
Yes, the Pacific, the Arctic. Even here in Europe, when you see the distance and the size of NATO, it's vast. And during the Cold War, it was more restricted.
Now,
Compared to Germany, it's from Finland all the way to the Balkans, so that's a long distance.
I have a logistical question. Does that mean we no longer need a ship with a helicopter on it to cross the Pacific?
It can be self-deployed from the United States, from Europe, from the Pacific.
From Alaska to Japan, it works. Yes, my friends, this is a revolution.
There you go, exactly.
Thank you.
A big thank you to you.
We're at the French team from Come in the Sky. This drone is unique, featuring 2 counter-rotating propellers similar to the Kamov 52, but actually it's much better because the payload is right here in the middle. The advantage is that it's balanced, so it also reduces consumption. Keep in mind, for a vertical drone, that is, we're not talking about fixed wings, we'll be able to fly for an hour and a half with previous generation batteries and a little more with future generations. And also, there's something pretty cool. This too, it's futuristic. Remote charging by laser, meaning you can fly over an area and recharge as you go. And that way, we'll be able to carry out a variety of missions. For example, fighting against seagull nesting, sterilizing seagull eggs, or destroying processionary caterpillar nests. And then, when you look around here, you can see it's made of carbon fiber. There are several advantages. First, it's stealthy, it's super simple. Also, the blades can be longer, which means they can spin more slowly. We're less noisy and less likely to be detected by radar, because these are simply blades that spin at half the speed of what we usually have. Everything is made of carbon fiber. Above all, it provides a framework to get closer and stick to targets, allowing access to unique environments such as making deliveries inside a nuclear power plant, with centimeter-level precision which allows you to go directly on site to work and make deliveries. We can easily imagine that the DGA will be interested in this kind of project, and in fact they will be taking part in calls for proposals that are coming very soon. Fifth strange project, the Heli blade with Eric Bonjour. Eric Bonjour, what is it? Is it a heli blade?
A heli blade is a machine that is neither a plane nor a helicopter. It's a drone that goes in between.
Meaning? And how does it work?
Well, it works thanks to centrifugal force. Centrifugal force allows us to have wings that stay horizontal, that stay in the position we want. It also makes the machine lighter, allowing it to reach great heights. See.
Can we get beyond the atmosphere?
Of course, we can reach the stratosphere and stay there for several months to observe the Earth, everything a satellite does, but without having to wait for it to come back, and from closer up, so with more precision.
What we call pseudo-satellites, the HAPS. Absolutely. Okay, technically, where do we stand?
So we're finishing up the R&D phase, or the proof of concept, to put it simply. And we're going to do a first test, full scale, not real, but at a slightly reduced scale, at the beginning of next year. But the device is already built.
What is the payload?
So, for now it's going to be empty, but we'll probably start by carrying observation payloads.
Yeah, but is it 5 kilos, 10 kilos?
5, 10 kilos.
Okay, so end of the year, what does that mean? Dubai Air Show.
We hope that in 2 years for that, at the Paris Air Show, we'll be above to watch.
Great, see you in 2 years.
Well,
Thank you. We're arriving at Taiwan with, let's say, our first operational flying drone. There are already 20 that have been sold in the United States. You can fly it without a pilot's license, 80 kilos of payload, 85 kilos of payload at 40 kilometers distance. It's as light as possible, only 150 kilos in total. Of course, everything is electric, metal frame, tinted electric windows, central locking. No, that's not exactly it. But the reality is that they are truly the first to be able to do aerial, urban autonomous transport, fully autonomous, without needing a pilot next to you, and it's actually delivered. For now, it's just for fun, but 40 kilometers in under an hour still saves a lot of time. And apparently, it's relatively quiet, since it's 100% electric with propulsion distributed over 8 small propellers with small engines. All very nice. And on top of that, all the parts are detachable so they can fit into this box. And it's called, get this, Badass Helicopter Class. No. In terms of piloting, there are 2 modes. Either you follow a predefined flight path, 1, 2, 3, or you go into free mode. And here I have the controls at the back. Here, if I want to take control, I press. So, right, left, straight ahead, that's not complicated. We accelerate and move to the right and left, that's it. Nothing could be simpler. It flies exactly like a drone, a DJI drone. Super simple. Long live Ione. The show is closed, but we're not stopping because behind us is Radia's Windrunner. Watch out, hold on tight. They want to build the biggest cargo plane in the world. That's huge. The cockpit stays in place. You might think it looks like the Antonov 124. Well, no, because they want to make it a bit lighter. 80 tons of payload. Still, that's really strong. And hold on, that's 12 times the usable volume you'd get on a Boeing 747. It will probably never see the light of day, but it's pretty funny. And we'll finish with the worst idea at the Paris Air Show. It's called the F-35Y by a stealth aircraft. It might not be stealthy anymore in 10 years while having an aircraft that will impose likely constraints for decades, all while costing $40,000 per flight hour. Worst idea at this Paris Air Show? Hope you enjoyed the video. There's lots of cool stuff here, and we'll see you soon on the channel. The Paris Air Show is going to be all summer.